After hearing both the plaintiff and the defendant's sides, I believe that I am going to have to side with the defendant in this court case because I believe that Ashford Hospital is not liable for the leak of Nicole Kitka's information. I believe there are many breaches in patient privacy, but most of them are due to employee, not company negligence. Griffith, 2017. Since the electronic medical record system has been invented or recently, this system has been constantly threatened by internal threats. Internal meaning more of employees' negligence, not so much. There are some outside threats, but most of these are also due to like employees going online or doing things when they have patients' private information on the screen as well, causing hackers to hack into the hospital's information data systems and to get into these electronic medical records. This also from Griffin 2017. So many of the employees, they are trained, they are selected to properly deal with this type of information, the patient employee information accordingly. However, there are times when these employees make mistakes. These are simple mistakes. So basically, these type of mistakes, the company should not be liable for these types of mistakes. Obviously, they hired these employees, they trained them on the importance of having to deal with patient information, HIPAA, things like that. We all know about the data breaches and stuff lately. So they should not be held liable when the employees go against company policy, like going online to these like third-class websites that are not backed up, and they end up, when they go into these websites, this is mostly where the breaches come from, these employees' information gets taken into the system, and now everything is all over the place. Most of this comes from Mingling, Taylor, Gwen, and Quang Ming from 2017, basically referring to how hospitals need to better protect the electronic medical records. And it's basically down to the fact of just employee negligence. So in this case, Ashford Hospital is not directly responsible for the compromise of Nicole Kitka's information. Basically, the employee or the supervisor that allowed the OR schedule containing all of that private patient information to be released out amongst the employees in an email, that Ashford Hospital cannot be held responsible for that type of negligence because, number one, it was in an email. Number two, because an employee caused the negligence. The hospital, obviously the employee works for the hospital, but overall, the hospital should not be held responsible for this type of action. They should be able to punish the person responsible. So the leak of the private information is due to an employee negligence. So basically the employee would probably receive some type of punishment for their action because they were negligent with someone else's private information or something else relating to that factor that caused this OR schedule with all of that private information to be released out to people that did not need to see it, basically. So, and then basically, like, we get into more of, private information, stuff like that. Like, the hospital does not allow employees to include patient information into emails because unless these emails are in a secure environment. It's the same way as like military, we send, if we send certain types of information, we know what we can and cannot send based off of the importance of critical information because of secret, confidential types of information. So by the employees sending out this patient information, they were definitely not acting within probably the standards of the hospital by sending out that type of information under such an unsecured network. This in my eyes would mean that although her private information was leaked, I do understand the fact that she's going to have to deal with the fact that the employees within the hospital have, her social security number and all of her insurance information, all of her medications, private things that she would never want someone to know, is definitely devastating to her as well as maybe her family and the company. So, but I do not understand, nor do I see how the hospital is liable for this type of damage to her or her private information. So I'm going to have to side with the defendant on this case and say that Ashford Hospital should not be liable for this type of data breach or this type of privacy interference of her information. Thank you.